brought me sprinkle cookies.
So what, no fucking TV now? Hey!
Maybe she's from Jersey.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Maybe She's from Jersey. We're your hosts, Jackie Neese
and Alex Curtis.
Welcome back to whatever episode this is. Today we have
Who cares?
Coffee sponsor, The Little Local in Hoboken, New Jersey. Great coffee if you're in the area. Go check them out. Always get myself a vanilla cold brew black.
I just got the same thing. I just copied you. Minus the vanilla, actually.
Yeah, you got cold, just black.
Yeah. Badass bitch.
Oh my God.
But no, it's really good. It's really strong, and I needed that today. I'm really tired. I hope that doesn't show through.
All right, let's just jump right into our episode today. Today we're going to be talking about...
What are we talking about?
Sororities.
Everyone's favorite topic.
Everyone's favorite topic.
Just kidding.
We both were in the same sorority, hence our big and little title. And yeah, we're just gonna touch base on sororities and how we met and the effects of it. Yeah, our experiences. And
I'm sure plenty of people listening that have been in sororities will probably resonate to some extent with our experience. We're not going to get into the drama or nitty gritty of this episode because I don't want to offend anyone right away, but we will for sure. So I guess let's just start. What are you doing?
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Are you posting right now? Are you serious? Her job's on social media, clearly.
It's posting time. I'm
Are
sorry.
you kidding?
It's just a story. It's just a story. Hold on. I'm done.
Literally mid-podcast.
It's called multitasking, okay?
God, this generation.
Okay.
We're the same age, but...
Anyway. All right. Let's jump right in. You want to start? Should we talk about why we both joined a sorority or?
Yeah, really quick. I made a note here because I wanted to say this. So when you join a sorority, it's what you make of it 100%. And I believe that in any org. But I'm sure that no matter what school you go to, it's what you make of it. You can get as little out of it as you want. You can get as much out of it as you want. For anyone that's, thinking about going out for a sorority, if you're just expecting things to work out and fall in your lap and have the best freaking time, I'm sure in some cases it can happen, but in most cases that's not going to happen. You have to put the work in. You're essentially trying to make connections with hundreds of women at once. So good luck. Okay.
Yeah, seriously.
Anyway, why you went Greek? Okay, you want to start?
Yeah. It's funny. I never thought I was going to join a sorority at all. I feel like one of the reasons I really wanted to join a sorority was I just wanted another color to my life.
What color was this?
Blue. No, I you know what I mean? Because I was just around theater constantly.
Yeah.
We basically were a conservatory.
You were in a cult.
No, we were in a cult. We had to dress up and wear black every Sunday or whatever.
True.
No, I loved my theater program. I loved the people in my theater program. I think I was just I feel like I just want to add another experience to college. I want to meet other people who don't do the same things I do. I purposely wouldn't room with theater majors. I just always wanted to kind of be a little different.
That's good. You got more of a well-rounded experience.
Yeah, and that was my goal, was I genuinely wanted to meet people who were not like me or didn't do things that I do.
I guess mine's similar. I mean, I was a science major, which didn't actually negatively affect me that much as far as social life. I've always been a very social person, and I don't know, I just always thought, even when I was little, I wanted House Bunny. I saw House Bunny and was like, well, I'm doing that. It was not the same experience, let me tell you, but I mean, I think I've never second guessed my decision. Oh, anyway, so I didn't really need a social life, but I've always wanted to be in a sorority. I never second guessed my decision, even from when I was just that's what I'm doing. The second I walked into Montclair, I was like, well, I'm going to join a sorority the day that they let me. So I had no preference of sorority. I knew there were 4 international sororities, so those are the ones I was going out for, not the local ones. But I kind of went in blind. Obviously, I heard things around campus about certain sororities, but I really did, and I'll give myself credit for this, I really did block that out. I wasn't married to any sorority, whether it was a good stereotype, bad stereotype. I was just I want to go in with an open mind, and I just want to find my people. as cliche as that sounds, but I did it alone. I had no reason to. I just went out. So nothing super exciting as far as why I did it.
Everything happens for a reason.
Clearly.
Do you want to chat about your recruitment process?
Yeah, so I guess we can chat about both ends, being a new member and being a sister.
I never was on the other side of recruitment.
Yeah.
I was never in the room for recruitment.
Yeah, so she was always in plays, which I'll touch upon. So she was involved in musical theater a lot, and she never was able to come to those events because they landed right around the time that like rehearsal was getting really intense.
Yeah.
But anyway, really, I guess briefly, I don't know how other sororities do it, but our recruitment is about 3 days. It's Friday to Sunday, and then Monday's bid day. So the first 3 days you go around, it's like musical chairs of sororities. You meet all the sororities. There's sisters that are hiding their letters, their pyrochais, and you don't know what sorority they're in. They're just there to help guide you, answer questions, calm your nerves, I guess. I don't know. So they kind of help you through the process of finding an org. And the first 3 days you go around, at the end of the day, you put, you rank them from 1 to 4. And we also rank the new members. And there's some system that I couldn't even really explain to you, but we rank the girls that we really want high. But if we know they really want us and we know that they ranked us high, we actually won't put them as high because we know we're going to get them. We actually put the girls high, the ones that are unsure about us, so that when the next day when they do the algorithm, however they do it, we have more of a chance to grab those girls back, because the ones that wanted us,
they're coming.
We know they're coming back. So it's weird. You kind of play with the numbers a little bit. But anyway, during recruitment, there's a big screen. We meet up after the day of meeting potential new members, and we just have your picture up. You fill out this bio. It's voluntarily done. And we rank you in a sense of, what kind of conversations did you have? We try and make it as least superficial as possible. So, we've been good about, if someone's like, she was cute, we're like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's cute. Okay. Did you talk about her mom? Like what went down?
Yeah.
We try and look for those, charismatic people that can really open up, and it's hard. It's 3 days. You have no idea. It's super intimidating.
Yeah.
We're really dressed up
for sure.
And there's a theme. It's overwhelming for some people, I'm sure. And you're doing it with a bunch of people you don't know. Other new members trying to potentially get into the org that you want to get in, and there's only a certain amount of spots. So towards the end, it can get a little antsy. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to make it sound terrible because I don't think it was. But so for instance, when she came up, I don't even really remember, but all I do remember is she came up, her picture, her bio, her GPA. We look at your GPA, which is important because if you have a low GPA, you're going to bring us down. And that's important. I think that's good because it keeps people accountable. Anyway, she came up, and I remember people being like, she was really nice, whatever she talked about. Oh, she was on American Idol. She was really cool. All right, next. So she was basically in. She only came to one day because she had this play. I actually don't know how you still got in after that.
I don't know how I even...
Whoever you talked to, you wowed them.
I don't know how I even got initiated as a sister. I missed so much.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's basically my experience from it. You're exhausted.
Yeah.
It is such long hours talking to someone, smiling constantly. We do this thing called bumping, where you're put in a group of sisters, 4 or 5, and you rotate to meet potential new members as you go.
Yeah.
And you almost have to time it correctly, and then you bump that person out and they go bump their person out. So then you all have turns with multiple people. It sounds pretty simple in my opinion, but people don't fucking get it for whatever reason. That was so frustrating. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, people could not understand bumping. And honestly, go get checked, because I could never comprehend what was so difficult. Sorry, it's just the truth. I'm throwing it out there. Get it together. Whatever.
I'm just going to make a compilation from literally just the past 3 episodes of the shit you said. That's so mean.
What else happens in recruitment? Oh, and then bid day is, the day that they open up their letters all together. You see what org that you got into. Sometimes it's a happy thing. Sometimes it's a sad occasion.
Right.
And then, the Pyro Kais that were undercover reveal their letters. They run to us as if we haven't seen them in years, and we embrace them.
Yeah, that's always so fun to watch. I feel like it gets weirdly emotional too, and you're like, they've literally been there the whole time.
Yeah,
like,
they just had to pretend they weren't in our org.
Yeah.
And then the new member process begins, and we, spend 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the school, initiating these new members into our organization. Yeah. And we'll talk about that later, but that's a really fun process in my opinion. Okay. So our process is, I could be wrong. I think it's 8 weeks. I blacked out, but
I think it's 6.
Okay. 6 weeks. And essentially it's no drinking. You have like library hours for each week that you have to fulfill. You have to keep your GPA up. You are involved in events with sisters that, as a sisterhood, we've already planned. You're expected to show up to everything. You have to wear a pin that represents that you're a potential new member, not a sister yet. And you have to learn things about the org, like whether it's generic things like Greek alphabet or just like details about our sorority and how we came about. And then you have to learn about older sisters and who you're going to be joining essentially. So it's 6 weeks. It's pretty brutal. Unfortunately, I wish we kind of got hazed a little bit. I think there's some good to not necessarily like physical or abuse. I'm not saying that, but like fuck around with people a little bit. Like I don't think there's any harm in that. People are so sensitive. I know for a fact years ago they would do something like you're going to do this because we said so, and it's probably not the smartest thing to do, and it'll probably make you look stupid. The second someone started to do it, they would stop you. Yeah. And they would say, stop, you did it wrong. And then you have to sit there and think about it and be like, what? I did what you said. And then they're like, do it again. And you're like, what? And then after a few times, hopefully either someone would grasp it or they would just say to you, like, you guys are sisters. If she started doing it, you're one. We're taught that we are one. Yeah. So if she makes a mistake, you make a mistake.
It's also the thing of like back up your sister.
If you look stupid, if she looks stupid, you look stupid.
Right.
You are her confidant. You are her team. So stop her. Like pick up her dignity if it falls, essentially. Yeah. And I think that is something that can easily be taken advantage of in certain sororities. They can really physically and verbally abuse people. That was not our experience. I would just say lesson learning. It was just to teach you how to respect yourself and respect your sister. So when you got into this org and things happened, when things got hard, you always remembered like, okay, well, I do love this person. Like I respect these people. So I think when the process is super easy and laid back, you don't grasp that. Right. You didn't go through long nights with these people and bonded. It's a different experience. Right.
I think also like you learn that in the sorority too, is like when you wear your letters, you're not representing just yourself. You're representing how many girls are in your sorority. You're representing Delta Phi Epsilon. So if you are wearing letters and you're rude to someone, they're going to define that with the sorority.
100%.
Oh, that whole sorority is bitchy.
And that's the truth. I did that.
No, I did that too, honestly. And it just happens in business. If I met someone in this company who treated me that way, I'm like, fuck that whole business. Like, I don't know. It goes 100%. Down to that. But I think that's also what they teach you in pledging is like, back up your sister, have your sister's back, like be a good person, like
represent us well.
Yes, represent well, and like those lessons I feel like,
and that you can take anywhere.
Yeah. And it really, I feel like I'm skipping a question, but I feel like that really did bring something into my life is like if I am friends with you, I will never talk shit about you. Like if I'm upset with you, I will come to you
100%.
Like I am not like that. I think it's like the grossest thing when I see girls that are best friends and they shit talk each other. I'm like, what are you doing?
It makes my stomach hurt. Because then I'm like, wait, do I stick up for them or do I talk to you about it? Because you'll be the person on the outside like witnessing it and you're like, so then why be friends?
I don't understand it. But I feel like that was something that they also kind of were
trying to eliminate,
trying to put in and being like my first night that we got initiated, they had a study, like, oh, this is so-and-so's scroll number and who's this person's big and all that thing. And they would ask us questions like, oh, when is so-and-so's birthday or whatever. And one of my pledge sisters would answer and it was right. And they were like, wrong, next person. And we were like, that wasn't wrong. Mm-hmm. And then you start to double guess yourself. You're like, maybe I was wrong. And like, it really does start to go in your mind, but then you realize what they're trying to make you do is be like, no, she was right.
Yeah,
like,
stick up for your
one.
sister.
Yeah.
Exactly. I loved those, honestly.
Yeah, and they're good, like, life lessons, too, of, like, just the people around you in your life, like, support one another, be there for one another, like, all those things. I think there is a lot of beauty in that, and I feel like as life goes on, we start to lose things like that. Like I said, like, I grew up in a very old school, cultured household, so that was very instilled. I think I was, like, 3, and my dad was like, that's your sister. Like, we always have this thing where I'm like, I can be mad at my sister and I can be like, you know, Raquel, you piss me off, whatever. But as soon as somebody else says something about my sister, that's it. Like, I'm like, that's my sister. Like, I can say, and vice versa. My sister can say whatever she wants about me. But the second somebody says something about me in front of my sister, she'd be like, no way. Like, I don't know. It's just that kind of thing of having somebody's back or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that is instilled, at least in my process. Yeah. I'm not sure how it is now in any sorority because of all the people that did take advantage of the system and, you know, hurt physically and mentally hurt people. But, yeah, what's next?
All right, the big little reveal.
Okay, so big little reveal. I can talk about this for literally years because I just love you so much. But no, so my perspective as a big was, you know, the P&Ms come to a bunch of events that sisters are putting on to meet them casually, right? But she never showed up because she was in this program, and, you know, you never know who's going to come because they don't hand out a roster. But towards the end of the process, we do speed dating. We do more intimate events to get to know them. And during a speed date, we clicked right away. We talked about random shit like Broadway, musicals, Peter Pan,
the moon.
Her vocal coach was the understudy from Finding Neverland, and we like, I don't know,
we just clicked,
bonded over the moon. It was weird.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, we clicked over dumb shit. I talked about dumb shit with multiple girls, but just it was weird. Like we sincerely just like we're like, love. Yeah. So I instantly was obsessed with her. Yeah, you're not allowed to tell them that you want them as a little. It's called dirty littling. But, like, you show them, essentially. Like, actions speak louder than words. Mm-hmm. So I always showed up. I tried to talk to her, compliment her, like, I love you.
Just real subtle.
Yeah. And then we had a private date. And everyone I knew showed up in that public setting where we were having our date.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Made me look so popular.
Oh, every 5 seconds. Hey, Alex, what's going on? She's like, oh, hey. And did you schedule that?
No.
She was like, it's 8:10, come in.
Seriously, though, that's what it felt like. And it was funny because my best friend Josh, like, the whole baseball team was coming in, and they were the ones that were like, hey. And then there was, like, a few random people that just happened to be there. It was a public setting on campus, but I looked really good. Again, we clicked. We talked about everything for, like, 2 hours. So it was great. And then I really wanted her. And then there's, a brunch that we go to, and then you essentially make lists. So I make a list about my top girls, and she makes a list about her top girls, and then they try and match them as best as they can. We were a perfect match, meaning we both put each other first. And she's in the dark for a week, and then that week we surprise them with gifts from their big. They don't know. Again, she didn't show up to any of the events, so her gifts were always brought to her in private, but whatever.
So special.
I worked my fucking ass off to make money to basically just drop on her in minutes. And then reveal comes around. It's different every year, but essentially they like drop a curtain. It's this big reveal, and you're excited, and she looked like she could care less because she was exhausted.
I was exhausted.
But I was pumped, and then from that day on, we've been inseparable.
Yes. That was a really short summary of that.
I really tried to keep that short. Okay.
Well, I'll start off in saying my freshman year, first semester, I was in our dorm building, and I was in the lobby waiting for a friend, and I saw her, and she had letters on, Delta Phi, and that was a sorority I was looking to join, and I was just watching. I was like, I don't know, I'm a people watcher. I was a freshman. I was just like, wow, she's so cool, or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, just being me. And she looks up at me, and I was like, I don't know. I just got like, and she literally goes like this. Like, gave me the nastiest fucking look. And for anyone listening to this not on a video, it was literally just the nastiest look you could think of, okay? And I literally I mean, I think my blood turned to water. I was like, oh my God, that girl hates me. I was like, I'm so embarrassed. Like, I don't know why I got so embarrassed. So when we were meeting up on that first, like,
I don't remember
sister day
this.
thing, I was like, oh my God, this girl's gonna fucking tear me apart. Like, I don't even know it. And
I
then
was
we,
probably like, hi.
I know, and then we sat down and we had such a great conversation. And I think another thing I admired about you was that you were so sure of yourself. Like I love being around people who I feel like I could learn a lot from too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we were similar in many ways, but I also just felt like there was so much I could learn from
And
you.
I did feel the exact opposite in the sense
Yeah.
of like you felt like this isn't a dig, but like you felt like me when I was 16.
Yeah.
Like the things you were going through at the time and like things that you were currently struggling with, I was like, I've been there.
Yeah.
And I sincerely felt like not only do I love this girl, but I can help her.
Yeah, I think there was just something that clicked, but I just remember like the way you could even take over a conversation or the room or whatever. Like you were just so sure of yourself and you were just showing up simply you. Like, and I admire that about people. I love putting myself around people like that. And I feel like I finally in the past year have like grown into that and just been like, I don't fucking care. But it took me a while to get there. And like, I just feel like I like to be around people like that. And I admire that. So I feel like that was another thing that I was like,
In the moment, I was like, does she like me?
but it didn't come across that way at all.
Yeah.
And then the whole big little process, like the baskets or whatever, I was literally having like one of the worst weeks of my life. That was also just a really bad time in my life. Like besides like the sorority stuff, like people literally gained the freshman 15. I lost the freshman 15. Like I was under so much stress.
Yeah.
I was miserable. That was just such a bad time. And I remember getting those baskets. I would cry every time. That sounds so dramatic, but I was just like, someone is like taking time out of their day and like the thoughtfulness and like it honestly meant so much to me. It sounds so stupid, but like I was just over the moon excited about it.
A shit ton of money.
Well, I appreciated it. And it literally, I remember like I'd get back from a tech day and just be drained. And literally there was a basket there and I was like,
And it was like, I love you.
it's just so sweet. And then you left me a note one day, like a really, really sweet note about how you, I think I definitely still have it. It was literally a note about how you just like couldn't wait to be a big sister and like our relationship and like all this stuff. And I was like, oh my
Like
God.
I took being a big so seriously.
She still makes me call her big and I'm still little. Like in every aspect of our lives. Like we'll
not
probably
asking for much.
we'll probably be in each other's weddings and she's gonna be like little. It's funny too because I feel like a lot of people end up as like perfect matches and then never talk ever again.
Like I said, it's what you make out of it.
Yeah, it is what you make out of
I
it.
was very on top of
You were.
in the best way. Like I could see she was struggling and I just clicked with her so well. It just sounded so cliche, but I just love her.
I'm really happy to be here.
Okay.
Move on to the next question. Being a sister and what it entails.
Okay. We can each, I guess,
Yeah.
upon this. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I guess I'll kind of go off what you said before. Like, you get out of it what you put into it. So, like, for me, for example, I didn't walk out of the sorority having, like, a huge group of friends and the best, like, memories and whatever. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, literally, like, found, like, some of my favorite people. You know what I mean? But I didn't have literally enough time to even put into and, like... And I know that, like, I'm aware of that.
That
but
wasn't purposeful.
No, it wasn't purposeful at all. And, like, whenever I did have time, I genuinely was there. Despite how other people felt. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did try so hard. But there's a lot of people who went into that sorority, like, really putting effort in and made, like, lifelong friends. I think it's great. Like, I see on social media, like, some of the girls are still so close and they're roommates and whatever. I think it's beautiful. I think that's so, so awesome. I didn't get to have really that sort of thing. I have a lot of close friends in the sorority. I still, like, there's a couple girls that I literally still hang out with almost every weekend.
You're roommates with one of them.
Yeah, I'm literally roommates with one of the girls. Like, I'm still, like, but I feel like if I had more time, or not saying that other people had more time than me, like, I think it was just really what you put in, you get out. So
No, I know you probably said that not to offend anybody, but
Yeah.
you were one of the busiest majors that there is on that campus.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm sorry, but there are easier majors. That's just a fact.
yeah, I think people think because you hear musical theater, you're like, oh, you just have to show up and sing. But my classes,
First of all, you took like 9 classes.
9 classes a week, rehearsals from, literally I was in class from 9 in the morning to 5, like just about, maybe like an hour lunch in between maybe. And then I do rehearsals 6:30 to 10:30 every single night. Saturdays rehearsals, Sundays sometimes rehearsals. Then I think Wednesdays I didn't have class, and I would take the train into the city and record at the recording studio music. Like it was a really insane schedule, like for 4 years.
Clearly, career, sorority.
Yeah,
career, sorority.
Right, but the whole reason I was in school was to do that. The whole reason I was joining sorority was because I was in school.
That's what I'm saying.
So.
Like, you prioritize things, but rightfully so, and don't denote what you went through. Like, your major,
I appreciate that,
was hard.
Yeah,
and I just think that is something about sororities that could be tweaked, but I understand why it's hard to do that.
And just a lot of like accountability. I feel like that's a huge thing about being a sister. Is there is a lot of accountability, like by the thing of like you wear your letters, respect, things like that. And just also like being there for others, hearing each other out.
I think I take a lot of, when I join something, when I start something, when I do something, when I sign up, I take it very seriously. That's just my personality. So when I became a sister, I was the best fucking sister. As far as like representing DPhi, as far as my character, I get along with everybody if I want to. But I will say, like, you know, I was overwhelmed by a bunch of girls in that sense. I'm not really a girl's girl. I have a lot of guy friends, really, so that was an adjustment for me. I knew that was going to happen. Obviously, I was joining a sorority, but I do want to like outwardly apologize if I rubbed anyone the wrong way. Being friends with 100 girls is impossible. Yeah, you can't do it, and I just feel like that's something that needs to be said. You will not be friends with everybody, and that's fine. Yeah. You just need to respect everyone and be as kind as possible, and don't assume things. Give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Agreed. And be upfront. If you have a problem with somebody, if something rubbed you the wrong way, if you want to voice your opinion, just do it in a respectful way. Done. If they react poorly, that's on them. Yeah. I do think that that's important to know when you join an organization. It's not just about gaining friends and, you know, going to parties and walking around with letters and getting a little or a big. You do volunteer hours. Yeah. You participate in organizations. The
philanthropies.
Other organizations, like they all throw events. We have to show up. We represent in numbers. You know, you're always wearing your letters. You're always representing us. And aside from that, school's a big part of it. You have to keep your grades up. You can't be in our org if you're failing school. Right. So I just feel like there's so much more to it that's not talked about until you're in it, and then you're like, whoa, I have to do all this. Yeah. But I think that also makes you a more well-rounded person. Right. Also, I do think the org gives you an opportunity to be a leader. Yes. There's plenty of, you know, positions and roles that you can run for, not just L team, which is like the vice president and the president. There's, you know, roles underneath them, and they're a little smaller, a little less responsibility. But they teach you a lot. Like you're technically a leader in that position, and you have to work with all these women for whatever you're trying to accomplish. It's a really good learning experience.
You also have to get in front of the entire sorority and say you were running for president or something. You have to literally get in front of everyone and tell them why, and like literally like sell for yourself and sell yourself, like
an interview.
Yeah. And I think that's like a great learning lesson, and it was also good to be on the other side. Like I never ran for a position, but like being on the other side of it and like hearing people's point of views and hearing people's suggestions and questions and things like that, like it was very informative.
I think it's and like you're not limited to what you can run for, how many times you can run for it. That's not a thing, but every work's different. But so when you do go out for a sorority, just make sure you really find that information out. Okay, hard truths about the org. I can just be brief here. Basically, you're not just signing up for a party tour. Yeah. Or, you know, a group of girls just to like be best friends with. That's a plus, but you're doing community service hours, library hours. Your GPA has to be above a certain ranking depending on the org or the school. And you actually have to go to certain events and mixers. They're a requirement. And even at those events and mixers where, you know, things are done, you have to be responsible. We have drivers, like we have things in place that you have to follow the rules. And that's just it is what it is. Like when you sign up to be in that org, that's what it means. It's not just like a free for all, like I get to party whenever I want, do whatever I want, and wear these letters. That's not the truth. So if that's what you're looking for, just go to their parties, but don't be a sister.
Right. Agreed.
What about you?
Yeah. Hard truths about the org. I think for me, like kind of what I was mentioning before would be the whole purpose I was in a sorority is because I was going to school, and my schooling, my major and my program is very asking of your time, your mental health, your body, like literally in all aspects is very asking, which was my decision. Sorry, like, which was my decision. Like, I loved it. I have nothing bad to say about my program. Loved it. I'm so glad I did it. But I didn't have a lot of time. I feel like I didn't have like a regular college experience.
For sure, yeah.
Like to some point, yes. But like, that was also my decision. Like, I'm not saying there's no woe is me card here. But I feel like I got punished a few times in the sorority because I didn't like add up to a certain point level as the next girl. And I got declined a little.
We did keep a point system.
Yeah.
Essentially, like when you showed up and participated and volunteered and yada yada, you kind of got ranked, and those points would either be great for you or they would harm you as far as privileges within the sorority.
Thing was I physically could not show up places even if I wanted to.
And you were always right there. It was never like you had like a 2%. You were like 99.
I was literally off like a point. I got declined a little, and like I was so upset because I was like, I try so hard, like, but I just wasn't meeting the requirements or the expectations. And I feel like, I mean, there was something that went around that one of the girls was like, yeah, she hates DPhi, and I was like, I don't, like, I just literally like physically can't show up.
Don't assume things.
Yeah, don't assume things. Like, and if you do have a problem with me, talk to me about it.
Right.
I have no.
And I can see someone not knowing you and like me
thinking that,
watching you being like, you know what, Jackie, it seems like you're not really invested what's going on.
Right.
If they would have just said that, you would have been like, absolutely not. Yeah. Here's my schedule.
Yes.
I show up to everything that I can.
Yeah. And I remember we had one lock-in, and it was a thing of like, you take the stick and just say something. And I never would say anything because I never had anything to say. I never had problems with anyone.
We were the watchers.
Yeah, like I just watched the drama with my popcorn. No, the stick got to me, and I was like, I don't know if anyone cares. Like, I have no idea. Mm-hmm. But just in case you do, I'm not here because I don't care. Like, I'm here because this is my schedule and A, B, C, D. Like, I explained it, and I feel like a lot of people actually like
it was necessary,
respected it, and was like, oh, like I had no idea.
Glad you said that.
Yeah. And I feel like I feel like communication is a big thing.
100%.
Very
especially
big thing.
Especially with women.
And maybe I could have done more in that way too. Maybe I just could have been more vocal and been like, hey, I really wish I was here. I'm at rehearsal, but, you know, I would love to make it to the next thing. Maybe I could have been more vocal. Like, it's just things to learn.
But I think that's the truth. You need to prioritize your school over the sorority.
That's the whole reason I was in school, was my program.
And there needs to be a good balance. As long as you communicate well with the people on the leadership team, I'm sure you'll work it out. Yeah. But no matter what, school comes first. Absolutely.
Yeah. That, and my program especially, like there was no way I was going to like skip a class to make it to something. It's just not going to happen.
To eat donuts.
Does sound tempting. Okay. What has DPhi sorority given you as an adult? Like, why is it beneficial even now? I love he wrote that.
Ooh.
I think, I could chat on this.
Okay.
I think I feel like I've just learned a lot from the sisters above me. That sounds really cliche, but I really do mean that. Even you, like, I feel like I've learned a lot because people are experiencing things before you. It's great information. I feel like I've had a lot of connections through the sorority too. Mm-hmm. I'm actually sitting for a woman who is an alumni of our sorority in our exact chapter.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool because she's awesome and her kids are awesome. But it's funny. It's just funny how things kind of line up that way, because she posted in a chat and she was like, hey, anyone want to babysit? And I was like, hi. Things like that. And I just feel like it kind of taught me a lot. And just the big thing about like, you're always wearing your letters. I just think that goes for everything. Like, even your own stuff. Like, I'm building my own business right now. I'm building my own music career. Like, I'm always representing that Jackie.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think it's just an important thing to learn in general, of like your reputation and how important and to be a good person just goes a really long way.
Yeah.
I think are just like essential things that, not that I didn't know before the sorority, but I feel like it was very eye-opening. Yes. There were a lot of experiences that I was like, oh, got it. And how do we feel now? I literally say this all the time. I'm like, thank God for DPhi, because it brought me you. This sounds so cheesy. I'm sorry. But like, I really mean that. Like, I'm literally like, thank God. Thank God, like, thank you. Like, I feel like
Ditto.
literally there was one day I was in New York. I think I just finished a dance class and I was walking down the street and I saw these two girls run up to each other and hug. And
I
like,
remember that.
And one of these, like, not the like, oh my God, it was like this genuine embrace of like pure joy.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, oh my God, like, that was such a beautiful moment. And I had a moment to be like, I don't really have any like friends in my life like that I really feel like I would embrace them like that. And then I was like, oh wait, my big. I'd do that like if I saw her yesterday. Like I was like, oh yeah, totally. And I texted her and I was like, this is us.
I remember you telling me that like the scenario
it was
we
so
just
true.
witnessed. Yeah.
So true. So thank you, DeFi, for my big. And I'm sure a lot of other things, but most important one.
Me specifically. I guess as an adult, vice versa, I understand what you're saying. I agree. I guess like on a new note, I just think it's helped me be more patient with people. Because I was the first person to assume things and be annoyed with people. And I think it definitely taught me like, don't assume things, give people the benefit of the doubt. And I learned how to compartmentalize in the orgs because things got stressful. Rightfully so, but it was important for me to compartmentalize. This is not that serious. When you're in a bubble at school, in an org, in your major, whatever it is, and things go wrong and things get stressful and there's tension, I learned to step out of it and be like, okay, this is not that serious. I'm in a club. Let's relax. I try to like bring it down a little bit. And it really just helped me with relationships with people in general. And obviously getting you and our fam in general, I think we got really lucky. It just brought me to really, really great people. And I'm really thankful. And in that note, everyone I've met that I've kept, my roommates, my friends, my fam, obviously I have them for life. So I think that's affected me way past the sorority. And again, networking is great. I've gotten plenty of interviews and jobs because I knew somebody that was in DeFi. So
for sure. I feel like even I've been on interviews where I've like just written that I was in a sorority and they're like, oh, what sorority?
They just want to hear about it.
Yeah. And it just kind of sparks like conversation. And I feel like also just like putting yourself as part of something is very impressive as well. And the philanthropies and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Goes a long way.
Ironically, our philanthropy is cystic fibrosis. And I now have a cousin that has cystic fibrosis. So what are the odds? And I feel like so close to her because of that, because I would raise money and listen to stories and meet people through the org with this diagnosis and people that are affected by it. And now I'm personally affected by it.
That was our biggest fundraiser.
Yeah. That was our biggest philanthropy that we also did ANAD, which every woman can relate to, unfortunately, but which is anorexia nervosa and other associated disorders. But the cystic fibrosis one was just kind of crazy to me because I never expected.
And it is rare. But it's incredible how that just like circles around. And
so again, I have like a different appreciation for people that have to go through that.
And I'm sure your cousin feels warmth towards you in the way that you not understand what they're going through.
Well, she's 4 months old, but yes.
Oh, well, she will. Just like you have education on it and you're informed. I feel like cystic fibrosis is not talked about enough.
For sure.
It's such a sad disease.
Yeah. So again, wouldn't have had that experience without DeFi.
Yes.
So thank you.
All in all, go check out Greek Life or any sort of
Highly
clubs
recommend.
or whatever like on your campus. I feel like just being part of something, you just never know what's going to come out of it. You could be doing a podcast 5 years later with your best friend. So
you get what you make out of it. So if you want to do the bare minimum and just, that's fine. Just, meet the requirements at least. But you can also go in and be president and meet tons of people and put that on a resume and get jobs. You just never know. It's a super exciting experience and we would not be here without it.
That's fucking crazy.
I know.
From one decision.
Yeah, thanks DeFi.
Yeah. I feel like I could not picture my life in the past 5 or 6 years without you. Like that,
Same.
I think I would not even be the same human.
Same.
That's insane.
I would have never been, I would have been a big, but to somebody else.
But like, it just would have been been different. Like it's wild.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I think that's enough information. We just talked for a fucking hour.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're very passionate.
Yeah, but go follow our socials. Mine is at Jackie Niece. Yours is.
You don't need to know mine.
Yes, you do. Her name is at Alex Curtis. Go follow her on social media.
I'm not interesting.
Yes, go subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Definitely subscribe.
Check us out. Yeah, and leave comments. Like, tell us what you think about this. If you were in a sorority and you have opinions, or you're thinking about joining a sorority and have more questions, or if this was helpful.
Yeah.
You know, we're also starting out this podcast, so we're looking for information. If you want to talk about different topics, we're literally open to anything. And
we can talk way more about this, so feel
talk
free.
Both of us can talk a lot.
Yeah.
So even if there's other topics or whatever, and if you are listening, thanks so much. We're very grateful. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm ready to go. How about you?
Okay.
Okay, that's a wrap.
Bye.
Bye.